They have a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they're gonna prove that they can do what they say can't be done.
And it's Thursday. You know what that means? It's time for us to have another Throwback Thursday. And we're gonna go back in time, throw up that celebration, because Heart of the Stories we tell, and me, Rob the host, is going to take us back to a quick nostalgic look and see how a story was that might be a little bit on the older side. So celebrate your week almost being over as we look at
Smokey and the Bandit, a series of movies, although I'm going to only focus mostly on the first one, that was all about fast cars, crazy hijinks, and is still a romantic comedy. Why? Because, well, that's how we used to make movies. Back when with a fast car you could outrun the police, and the idea of the outlaw was just a little bit more prevalent in our society. Even good old man Burt Reynolds still looks like he could do another one of these, 'cause he's still the Bandit. But alright, for those of you that don't know, what I do here is I review shows, and I come up with concepts on why and how we tell stories. If that sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to join us as we walk through the heart of many stories, including Smokey and the Bandit, so click that subscribe button. For now, I just want to start off by saying that Smokey and the Bandit is a solid gold story. It holds up even today when I rewatched it from when I was a kid. It's fun, it's interesting, and it was basically the Fast and the Furious before there was the Fast and the Furious. If you like action and you like comedy, you're going to love Smokey and the Bandit. Each of the sequels, though, did go slightly downhill from each in quality, including adding riskier and riskier things to the show just to try to keep it relevant. But we're going to focus on the first one. So, let's throw this up there and get started.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time.
And of course, we're going to start off with the setting. It's the late 1970s in a relatively realistic world. And basically, Smokey and the Bandit takes place just any time, really. Although the CB thing probably means you need to keep it in the 70s. Let's talk about characters, though. I was rather surprised when I looked up the IMDb, because Jackie Gleason doesn't even get in the top 5 of who the characters are. But realistically, what we're doing is we're following 2 sets of couples. Well, 3 really. 2 of them involve Burt Reynolds. See these 2? Well, they're in the main car. And these 2 are the friends that set out, and, well, that dog is a super important character. Alright, so we're going to start off with good old Burt Reynolds, the Bandit. He's one of those, I'm going to do things my way type of guys, and he's one of those ones that can't back down from a bet. But then, along the way, he runs into his little partner in crime, who was a runaway bride long before Julia Roberts even started acting. However, Burt Reynolds' character, the Bandit, has a buddy who's driving a big truck full of illegal goods across state lines at super fast speeds. And that's why he's running as the pursuit car. And they're being pursued by these 2 cops. Primarily, Jackie Gleason's character. That would be Smokey. Smokey being police officers. To be honest, I don't really know why they called them that, but I do know that it was an actual nickname for police back in the day. He's a hard-nosed cop who's trying to just get things done. These 2 here, they're the ones that bet them that they couldn't do what can't be done. So let's talk about the plot. It's a very generic one, and it is also linear. See, this truck is going to run alcohol from one state all the way across the country at a speed that everyone says can't be done, hence the song. And the plan they have is that they're going to drive the sports car at super fast speeds, the police will chase it, he'll outrun them, and the truck will come up behind and not be noticed. Of course, that's before the love interest ends up falling into Burt Reynolds' lap, and he ends up spending half the movie on the run without the truck behind him, but that's because of who we follow for the point of view. We jump back and forth between Bandit and his partner. We jump into the police point of view a little bit, but we spend most of the time in these two. Why? Because, well, they're the main characters, and we're going to get to that in theme and symbolism here. The theme of devil may care and the fact that even though what I'm doing is illegal, it's just downright fun and actionful gets played up over and over again throughout the series, and especially in the first one. The idea that, hey, I can do what I want even though I'm breaking the law entirely because I'm just that cool. That Han Solo roguish appeal that happens over and over again. And the fact that the cops come off as jerks is, well, maybe a little timely. And the fact that they over-pursue and go through way more than they should. The action is all very symbolic, though, of a time period when things were simpler. Remember when I said the CB thing? Well, I want to talk about that for a second in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so early in the film, they state that they've done this sort of trick before to run illegal alcohol. But the problem is that now the police are using CBs too. And as someone who was born in 1980, I can't believe there was a time police weren't using CBs. I'm so used to seeing them. And before I go further, I'm curious. Do you remember a time before the police were using CB radios? Notwithstanding technology, that's one of two things that really dates this film. And the other part is that it's actually kind of rapey when you really think about it. Burt Reynolds meets Carrie, who he renames Frog, because she's kind of cute like a frog and always hopping around and he likes her legs. But these guys, the sheriff and the deputy that are actually chasing them, is because he wants to force her to marry his son. And I want you to think about that for a minute. Forced marriage in 1977. And yeah, they're the antagonists of the series. But I mean, we spent a lot of this movie joking and laughing around. But he wants to force a woman to marry his son. And he's using the fact that he's a cop to get away with it. Icky. Alright, so I really like Smokey and the Bandit. Like I said, I think it's still solid gold, even with a little bit of dating. And much like Hellraiser, I found out that there were a bunch of sequels that I didn't even know about. I thought there were 3, but I guess they made a bunch of TV movies out of this, too. I don't know, maybe I'll go back and watch them, maybe I won't. For now, I'm curious, what did you think of Smokey and the Bandit? Was it a fun romp, or does it have a little ick squick to it? Either way, if you liked my little review here and talking about it, click that thumbs up and share this video. And of course, if this is your first time here, click the subscribe button. I'm trying to build a community, and my Throwback Thursdays starting next week are all going to be Christmas themed for the month of December. So if you like Christmas movies, or just Christmas stories, let me know that down in the comments as well. For now, I hope you have a good night, and I hope you're not chased by some sheriffs. Thank you for walking with me through the heart of the story of Smokey and the Bandit.